What is juxtaposition like as a tool for you as an artist?
Juxtaposition as an artist. Well, I want to stray away from being entirely realistic. I want to stick with the formality of painting. I think it's very interesting, and I think it's what embodies painting as a whole. So by me, not entirely painting off of representation, like an image, like a picture that you take with a camera, I think it embodies what I'm trying to say. It reflects what I'm doing in the process of what I'm doing. I don't want to mimic an image.
How does juxtaposition help you like craft a message?
Juxtaposition helps me craft a message by telling the viewer a story that's not exactly within the subject's motion or what they're doing within the frame. So I think there's a lot more to the subject matter beyond what the portrait looks like. I'm not even doing a portrait. I'm doing almost a message that is explaining what the portrait looks like.
The reason I ask is because I think that can be an interesting metaphor for flare code, how you can convey a different message from face value by taking these two literal streams of content and putting them side by side.
Mm-hmm.
You create a new message that's the synthesis of both, and I sort of see that like a metaphor for that in your work. Could you talk about that? Is that just totally wrong?
Could you just rephrase it or repeat it? Sorry.
The way that you can create, that you said you can convey a message that's more than literal,
Mm-hmm.
basically, by juxtaposing multiple messages.
Yeah.
I think that that's sort of parallel to how flare code can juxtapose different sources of information to create a deeper, more nuanced message. Could you maybe just talk a little bit about that? How does juxtaposing things, literal messages, create these deeper, more intrinsic, holistic messages?
Are you talking about the QR code and the kind of ambiguity of it, mm-hmm. and how it kind of transforms into this sort of, well, I think I'm kind of going off on a tangent now, so I'm just going to explain.
No, that's fine.
Well, I think what flare code does that reflects my painting style and the juxtaposition that I create is, with the QR code, it has very distinct ambiguity. A lot of people are confused by it. They don't really know what to think of it, and I reflect that in my painting style, but also I think what flare code does is they bring out the literal meaning through delving into those ambiguous things. So, I mean, if you stare at a painting and if you try to gather meaning, or if you gather meaning by doing what flare code is doing, by showing my process through pictures and such, I think the viewer will be able to gather a cohesive thought about it, rather than just looking at a painting and moving on.
What does that mean to you? Is that significant to you at all, as someone that's sort of participating in our first try at an art show?
It means a lot to me. I think... Well, do you want me to repeat?
Yeah, please.
What was it then?
What does that ability to sort of give the viewer of your work more, just that little extra, mean to you in your first studio mm-hmm. exhibition, I guess?
Well, using flare code in my first exhibition and being able to show the viewer that my process in making my art means a lot to me. I think for me, as not only an artist but an observer of art, I find it interesting that what Flare Code is doing, they're sort of showing the viewer more than what is right in front of you. And I think that is just an experience that anybody would want to use or would want to see. My process of my work is it may be even more interesting than the final product. So showing the different stages up to the final piece is, I think it's almost a gift for a viewer.
What would be one thing you would just like want to totally alter about the world if you could just like snap your fingers and change it? It can be anything, it doesn't have to be important.
It's a tough one. Sorry. What I would want to alter about the world within a snap of my finger is, I don't know. I have no
what's
clue.
something that you would want then? We can make it less like altruistic and more like greedy.
To have the capability of doing things that I want to do without having the funds for them. Like concerts and awesome shows that I've been wanting to go to.
Just making more stuff free.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly what?
Exactly, making more stuff free.
Cool.
Cool. Is that it?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.